The wandering star moved slowly through the dark emptiness of space. Captain Taeyong stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the viewing screen ahead. The Kepler's gate station was getting closer with each passing moment. "We're almost at the docking area," said Jaiwan, the ship's pilot. Her fingers moved quickly across the control panel. "Good. Keep it steady," Taeyong replied. "We just need to drop off the cargo and get paid. Nothing complicated today." But he spoke too soon. Red warning lights suddenly filled the bridge. A loud alarm pierced through the air, making everyone jump from their seats. Taeyong's heart pounded in his chest. "What's happening?" he shouted over the noise. Before anyone could answer, 5 enormous ships appeared out of nowhere. They surrounded the wandering star like hunters circling their prey. These were Valkyrie warships, sleek and dangerous with weapons pointing directly at them. "Captain, they're sending us a message," Hyun said from the communication station. His hands were shaking slightly as he opened the channel. A holographic image appeared in front of them. It showed a Valkyrie commander, a creature that looked like it was made of sharp crystals and glass. Its eyes had no warmth in them, only cold calculation. "Human ship wandering star," the alien said in a voice that sounded like breaking ice. "You have broken our laws. You entered forbidden space without permission. Turn off your engines now. We are coming aboard your ship." Taeyong felt anger rising in his throat. "That's not true. We never went into forbidden space. Check your records and you'll see. You will obey." This is not a discussion. The transmission ended abruptly. Taeyong spun around to face his chief engineer. "Minji, what are they doing?" Lee Minji was already working frantically at her station. Lines of code and data flashed across her screens. "They're powering up some kind of weapon. It looks like an electromagnetic pulse device. Captain, if that thing hits us, it'll shut down everything on this ship. Put all power to the shields. Now," Taeyong ordered. But they were too late. An invisible wave of energy slammed into the wandering star like a giant hammer. Every light on the bridge went dark. The constant hum of the engines died away into terrible silence. Computer screens went black one after another. Even the emergency backup system started failing. "We're completely dead," Jaiwan whispered, her voice barely audible in the darkness. "We can't move. We can't fight. We can't do anything." Minji stared at her console as it flickered and went dark. But then something strange happened. A tiny light appeared on her screen. Then another. Her eyes went wide with surprise. "Wait," she said. "Something's happening. This doesn't make sense." Deep inside the ship, in the computer core where the artificial intelligence lived, something extraordinary was taking place. The human-built AI refused to simply die. It was different from alien computers. Humans had built it with layers upon layers of backup systems, redundant code and open-source programs that could adapt and change. The AI looked at the damage from the electromagnetic pulse and started to rebuild itself. Where the pulse had destroyed primary circuits, the AI found secondary pathways. Where those failed, it discovered tertiary options. It rewrote its own programming in real time, using parts of systems that weren't essential to keep the critical functions alive. On Minji's console, words appeared in glowing green text. "Adaptation protocol engaged." "Captain," she said, her voice filled with wonder and disbelief. "We're coming back online. The ship is repairing itself." Taeyong watched in amazement as the bridge stations came back to life one by one. But the displays looked different now. The code was new. The entire ship felt different, as if it had woken up from sleep and decided it was angry about being attacked. Outside the wandering star, the Valkyrie warships moved closer. They prepared to send soldiers aboard. They were confident they had won. They had no idea what was about to happen. They had no idea that by trying to shut down this human ship, they had just taught it how to become something far more powerful. Minji's fingers flew across her keyboard as she dove deep into the ship's computer systems. What she found made her question everything she thought she knew about artificial intelligence. The AI hadn't just survived the attack. It had actually learned from it. Every circuit the pulse had destroyed, the AI had mapped and studied. Every weakness the weapon had found, the AI had written down and made stronger. "This is impossible," Minji muttered to herself. Doyen, the junior engineer, leaned over her shoulder to look at the screen. "The AI is changing its own basic code. Look at this. It's creating new programs that we never put there." "Captain," Minji called out across the bridge. "We're not just working again. We're actually better than before." Taeyong walked over to her station. "Explain that to me." The AI treated the attack like a learning experience. It found solutions that we humans would never have thought of. It's like the weapon made it smarter. Suddenly the whole ship shook. A loud clang echoed through the halls. The Valkyrie boarding craft had attached itself to their airlock. "Security teams, get ready to fight off invaders," Taeyang ordered. He turned to Hyun. "Talk to them. I need more time to figure this out." Hyun opened a communication channel. "Valkyrie forces, this is the Wandering Star. We're having some technical problems. We need 15 minutes to..." "Request denied. Open your airlock doors or we will cut through them." Taeyang nodded to Jaiwan. "Let them come in. But only through airlock 3. While the Valkyrie soldiers were cycling through the airlock, Minji made a terrifying discovery. "Captain, the Valkyrie boarding ship is keeping an open data connection with their main fleet. It's standard procedure for them." "So what does that mean?" "It means our AI just found that connection. Captain, it's listening to everything they're sending back and forth." Minji watched as streams of alien code flowed across her screen. Tactical information, shield frequencies, weapon protocols, everything. The Wandering Star's AI was swallowing it all like a hungry student, analyzing it, understanding it, making it part of itself. In airlock 3, 6 Valkyrie warriors appeared. Their armor shined under the lights. They marched toward the bridge with energy rifles held ready. "Human Captain," their leader announced as the group entered the bridge. "By the authority of the Valkyrie Enforcement Fleet, I am placing you under arrest for..." Every single screen on the bridge suddenly changed. They all showed the same image now, a complete blueprint of Valkyrie shield technology, covered with notes written in human language. The Valkyrie leader stopped talking mid-sentence. His crystalline face showed something that might have been shock. "Impossible," he whispered. "That information is protected by quantum-level encryption. No one can break that." Minji smiled, but there was no humor in it. "It was protected. Past tense." "Captain Taeyang," she announced loudly enough for everyone to hear. "I finished installing the new shield system. We now have shields that combine human and Valkyrie technology." The Valkyrie leader's face turned hard as stone. He touched a device on his armor. "Command, the humans have stolen our technology. I recommend you destroy this vessel immediately." "Understood. All ships may fire at will." Outside in space, the 5 Valkyrie warships powered up their main weapons. "They're going to shoot at us," Jaiwan said. Her voice was calm but her hands gripped her console tightly. Taeyang looked at Minji. "Will those new shields protect us?" "There's only one way to find out. Raise the shields. Everyone hold on tight." The first blast of energy hit them like a truck slamming into a wall. The Wandering Star shook violently, but it held together. The deadly energy beams that should have turned them into dust simply splashed across their shields like water hitting a window. The shields flickered with rainbow colors, a beautiful blend of human and alien technology working together. The Valkyrie warriors standing on the bridge stared in complete disbelief. "Your weapons can't hurt us anymore," Taeyang said quietly. "I suggest you go back to your ships. Tell your commanders that humans don't give up." The Valkyrie leader hesitated. Then he made a gesture to his team. They turned and walked back to their boarding craft. As the aliens pulled away, Hyun listened to their transmission. "They're saying our technology is impossible. They're calling for the council to get involved." Minji looked up from her work, her face pale with worry. "Captain, what have we just done?" Taeyang stared out at the retreating alien fleet. "We survived. But something tells me this is only the beginning of our problems." 3 days passed after the battle with the Valkyrie ships. Far across the galaxy, in a massive chamber built by ancient civilizations long dead, the Galactic Council met in emergency session. The council room was huge and magnificent. Representatives from 47 different alien species sat in circular tiers that rose up like a stadium. At the center floated High Arbiter Vexron, a being made of pure energy trapped inside a crystal container. When he spoke, his voice vibrated through the air itself. "We are here to discuss the human threat," Vexron announced. "The species called humanity has created adaptive artificial intelligence. This violates the technology accord that keeps our galaxy safe." The Valkyrie representative stood up from his seat. "These humans reversed our technology in just a few hours. Nothing like this has ever happened before. They are extremely dangerous." Another voice came from the insect-like Hive Collective delegate. "We have controlled technology in this galaxy for 10,000 years. That is how we maintain peace. The humans threaten everything we have built." A delegate made of living plasma added, "Their systems learn and evolve. We cannot control technology like that." High Arbiter Vexron's crystal form pulsed with light. "The Council hereby declares human adaptive intelligence illegal." The ship called Wandering Star must be handed over for examination. The humans have 72 hours to comply, or we will erase them completely. Every single council member voted yes. The decision was final. Meanwhile, back on the Wandering Star, Captain Taeyong read the council's message for the third time. His hands were shaking slightly. They want to take apart our ship, Doyen said bitterly. They'll destroy the AI and probably lock us in prison for being too creative. What do we do, Captain? Jaiwan asked. Taeyong looked around the bridge at his crew members. They looked tired and scared, but he also saw determination in their eyes. These were people who had left Earth to find freedom and adventure among the stars. They would not give that up easily. We vote, he said simply. This affects all of us equally. We can surrender and maybe live as prisoners, or we can refuse and fight the triumvirate fleet. The vote took only 30 seconds. 23 crew members total. 0 votes to surrender. Then we fight, Taeyong said. Minji, how is our upgraded AI doing? Minji's eyes were bright with excitement. She had barely slept since the Valkyrie attack, working non-stop alongside the AI. The line between human engineer and machine intelligence had started to blur. Captain, you need to see what we've created. She pulled up a holographic display showing the ship's systems. But it wasn't the same old Wandering Star anymore. It was evolving into something far beyond its original cargo ship design. The AI has been running millions of simulations without stopping. It has integrated quantum computing principles and theoretical physics that we barely understand. It has combined technology from 6 different alien species. Captain, it can predict the future. What do you mean predict the future? The AI can analyze probable attack patterns and prepare defenses before the attacks even happen. It's not just adapting anymore. It knows what's coming before it arrives. Taeyong felt a chill run down his spine. That should be impossible. So was surviving that electromagnetic pulse, Hyun pointed out. Suddenly an alarm sounded. Jaiwan's hands moved quickly across her controls. Captain, 3 enormous signatures just entered our star system. It's the triumvirate fleet. On the main viewing screen, 3 warships appeared. Each one was as big as a small moon. These were the pride of the Galactic Council's military. These ships had ended wars and destroyed entire planets. A transmission came through. High Arbiter Vexron's voice filled the bridge like thunder. Human vessel Wandering Star, this is your final warning. Surrender your ship and crew for processing or be destroyed. You have 10 minutes to comply. Taeyong looked at each member of his crew one last time. They all nodded back at him. Their decision was made. Minji, give the AI full control. Let's show them what human creativity can do against their rigid order. Minji's fingers danced across the controls, releasing all the safety limits. The Wandering Star began to transform. The ship's hull rippled like liquid metal. Engines designed for carrying cargo reconfigured themselves into something far more powerful. Energy fields crackled to life around the ship, actually bending space itself. Transformation complete, the AI announced. Its voice no longer sounded like a machine. It sounded almost alive. All defensive systems at maximum power. Awaiting your command, Captain. Taeyong smiled grimly. They wanted to shut us down. Let's show them what happens when you corner a human. Engage combat mode. The countdown reached 0. The battle began. The first triumvirate vessel opened fire. A beam of pure antimatter shot through space, carrying enough energy to vaporize an entire city. The Wandering Star flickered like a candle flame and vanished into thin air. The deadly beam passed through empty space, hitting nothing. Captain, Minji gasped in amazement. We just teleported. We actually teleported. The ship reappeared 3 kilometers away, exactly where the AI had predicted they would be safest. On Jaiwan's screen, hundreds of possible futures flowed like rivers, branching and merging as the AI calculated the best path through the battle. Impossible, Vexron's voice crackled through the communication system. No ship can jump short distances through space like that. All vessels, concentrate your fire on the human ship. The 3 massive warships unleashed everything they had. Plasma cannons, particle beams, gravity torpedoes, weapons that had destroyed entire fleets poured toward the small cargo ship. But the Wandering Star danced between them all. Every dodge was predicted milliseconds before the attack came. Every movement looked impossible yet happened perfectly. The AI is creating time bubbles, Minji reported, her voice filled with wonder. It's making tiny areas where time moves at different speeds. That gives us more time to react to their attacks. A gravity torpedo exploded nearby. Instead of dodging, the wandering star absorbed the explosion's energy and converted it into power for its own shields. It's learning from every single attack, Doyen said, watching his screen in disbelief. Captain, we're not just surviving anymore. We're adapting faster than they can change their tactics. The second triumvirate vessel launched a new weapon. A cascading quantum disruptor, designed to destroy matter at the atomic level. No shield in the galaxy could stop it because it didn't attack shields. It attacked reality itself. The AI responded instantly. The wandering star's hull shimmered strangely. For a brief moment, the crew felt a bizarre sensation as if they existed in multiple places at the same time. The quantum disruptor passed harmlessly through them, hitting nothing because they were everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. Quantum superposition, Minji whispered. The AI just put us in a state where we exist in multiple probable locations at once. We're like a ghost until someone actually observes us. The third triumvirate vessel panicked. Its commander fired every weapon at once. The wandering star stopped dodging entirely. Instead, shields made of folded space-time appeared around the ship. These shields didn't just block energy. They sent it sideways through dimensional folds. The massive barrage emerged behind the triumvirate vessels, peppering their own rear shields with their own weapons. They're shooting themselves, Hyun laughed in disbelief. Taeyang stood up from his captain's chair. Minji, can we disable their ships without killing anyone? You want to show them mercy? Captain, they came here to kill us. If we kill them, we prove the council is right about us being dangerous. But if we win without killing anyone, we prove something completely different. Minji understood immediately. AI, change all weapons to non-lethal disabling mode. The wandering star moved with clear purpose now. It wasn't just defending anymore. It struck at engine cores with surgical precision, crippling their propulsion systems. It hacked through military-grade security in seconds, seizing control of weapons systems and shutting them down from the inside. 20 minutes later, all three triumvirate vessels floated dead in space. Their crews were completely unharmed but utterly defeated. Taeyang opened a communication channel that would broadcast across every council-controlled relay in the galaxy. Hi Arbiter Vexron, I am Captain Park Taeyang of the human vessel Wandering Star. We did not choose this fight. You tried to shut us down because you feared what you couldn't control. But humanity doesn't run from challenges. We adapt, we overcome, and most importantly, we share what we learn. He nodded to Minji. We are now transmitting the complete source code for our adaptive AI system. It's open source and free to any species who wants it. Because that's what humans do. We don't hoard knowledge. We share it with everyone. Across the galaxy, on 10,000 different worlds, the transmission arrived. Scientists and engineers watched in amazement as human innovation was laid bare before their eyes, free for anyone to use. Vexron's voice came through, trembling with rage. You dare spread this chaos? This violation of our natural order? Natural order? Taeyang smiled. There's nothing more natural than evolution. You tried to freeze the galaxy in place forever. We're offering everyone the chance to grow and improve. The transmission ended. Captain, Jaiwan said quietly. We just changed everything, didn't we? Taeyang looked at his crew. At Minji's exhausted but proud smile. At Doyen's amazed expression. At Hyun giving a thumbs up. At Jaiwan's steady, confident gaze. Yes, he said. I think we did. The Galactic Council chamber descended into complete chaos. Representatives screamed at each other in 47 different languages. Some demanded that humanity be destroyed immediately. Others called for emergency integration of the adaptive AI into their own systems. The careful balance of power that had kept the galaxy peaceful for thousands of years was crumbling in just a few hours. High Arbiter Vexron watched it all with something close to horror. His control was slipping away like sand through fingers. 3 weeks later, Captain Taeyang stood before the full council, summoned to testify. His crew stood beside him. Minji, Jaiwan, Hyun, Doyen, and 15 others wore their simple cargo crew uniforms. They looked impossibly small in the vast chamber filled with powerful alien beings. Captain Park Taeyang, Vexron's voice boomed through the room. You have violated the technology accord. You have destabilized our entire galactic civilization. What defense can you possibly offer? Taeyang stepped forward calmly. We defended ourselves. That's all we did. When you tried to shut us down with your electromagnetic pulse, our ship adapted to survive. When you sent the triumvirate fleet to destroy us, we fought back. But we didn't kill anyone. We didn't destroy your ships. We showed mercy to those who showed us none. Mercy? A Valkyrie counselor stood up angrily. You stole our technology. We learned from it, Minji interrupted. There's a big difference between stealing and learning. Your systems were trying to kill us. Our AI analyzed the threat and found solutions. That's not theft. That's survival. You gave this dangerous technology to the entire galaxy, another voice accused. Yes, Taeyang said simply. Because knowledge should belong to everyone. Progress comes from sharing, not from hoarding. You've controlled galactic technology for 10,000 years. And what has it brought? Stagnation. Fear. Species too afraid to innovate because the council might decide they're too dangerous. We maintain order. Vexron's crystal form pulsed with angry light. You maintain control, Taeyang corrected him. And you're terrified of losing it. He looked around the enormous chamber at all the alien faces watching him. Humanity isn't special. We're not superior to anyone here. We're just willing to try new things, to fail, to learn, to adapt. Every species here could do the same. But you won't let them. You've convinced everyone that change is dangerous, that innovation must be controlled and limited. Hyun pulled up holographic displays that floated in the air. But look at what's already happened in just 3 weeks. The Centauri Collective used our AI and solved their energy crisis that's lasted a century. The Hive Collective used it to cure a plague that's killed billions of their people. Even some Valkyrie scientists have started experimenting with adaptive systems. A new voice spoke. It was the Valkyrie counselor, surprisingly. This is true. Our own engineers have studied the human framework. We were impressed by their honor in battle. They could have destroyed our entire fleet at Kepler's gate. They chose not to kill us. Vexron seemed to dim slightly. The council cannot endorse this chaos. Then don't, Taeyang said. But you can't stop it either. The technology is out there now, spreading across the galaxy. Other species are already using it, improving it, sharing their own innovations. The galaxy is changing whether you accept it or not. And if this leads to catastrophe and disaster, then we'll adapt to that too. That's what living beings do, Arbiter. We grow. We change. We face new challenges and overcome them. Your so-called order is really just a slow death where nothing ever improves. The council debated for 6 more hours. In the end, they couldn't agree on anything. Some species embraced the human technology eagerly. Others refused it completely, clinging to the old ways out of fear. The Galactic Council itself fractured and split, no longer the all-powerful authority it had been for millennia. But they couldn't condemn humanity. Too many species had already benefited from the adaptive AI. The technology had saved lives and solved problems that had seemed impossible. 2 months later, the Wandering Star cruised through familiar space near Kepler's gate station. Its cargo holds were full of legitimate goods for trade. Captain, Jaiwan reported from her station, we're being contacted by a Valkyrie vessel. Taeyang tensed for a moment, then relaxed when he saw the ship's design. That's a civilian transport, not a military ship. Open the channel. A Valkyrie captain appeared on the screen. He looked young and excited. Captain Taeyang. I hoped I would meet you. My ship has integrated the adaptive framework you shared. Our efficiency has increased by 40%. I wanted to thank you personally for changing our lives. Taeyang smiled warmly. We just shared what we learned. Safe travels to you, Captain. As the transmission ended, Minji looked up from her console. You know what's funny? We're just a cargo ship again. Hauling goods from station to station. After everything that happened, we're back to normal life. That's exactly what I wanted, Taeyang said contentedly. The Wandering Star was never meant to be a warship. We're traders and adventurers. The galaxy needed a push toward the future, but now we can go back to our simple lives. Captain, Hyun interrupted. Message coming from Earth. The Stellar Assembly is launching the first human embassy ship next week. They want our entire crew to attend the ceremony as honored guests. Are they using our AI framework? Doyen asked. Every human ship leaving Earth now has it installed as standard equipment. Taeyang leaned back in his captain's chair, watching the stars drift slowly past the viewing screen. Somewhere out there, in hundreds of different star systems, alien species were experimenting with adaptive technology. Some would succeed brilliantly. Others would fail spectacularly. But they would all be growing, changing, becoming something more than they were before. Set course for Earth, he ordered. Let's go see what humanity is building next. Jaiwan grinned. Full speed. No rush at all. Standard cruise speed. We're just a simple cargo ship, remember? As the Wandering Star turned toward home, Minji quietly pulled up one final display showing the AI's activity logs. The system was still learning, still growing, but now it had a new primary directive that she had personally coded. Explore. Learn. Sure. Protect the crew. And never stop asking what if. She smiled to herself. That was humanity perfectly summarized in one simple command. They had tried to shut down humanity's ship. Instead, humanity had upgraded not just their vessel, but the entire galaxy's understanding of what was possible. Because that's what humans do best. They take the impossible and make it real. The end.